Hey YouTube, what's going on? Hopefully your weather is much better than mine. It's kind of dreary out today, as you can see, extremely overcast, and it's raining right now. I'm under a tree. But I just wanted to talk to you about three things that I thought was important to kind of get out more in the open so that we can face these particular realities for the majority of preppers. Because I think these are some of the driving forces behind us. And they're not bad things. It's just good to recognize them head on. The first thing is that preppers and prepared-minded people in general, they do what they do because they are trying to buy time. Buy time. And if we could go to Walmart or go online and buy a box or a bottle of time, just so we could actually have more time in an emergency to overcome a challenge, we would all do that. I think that we wouldn't even question that. Everybody would have a whole basement full of time. But we can't do that. But in a way we can, because if we think ahead with forethought and we prepare and we have a plan and we do things before things happen, then we already have bought time because we've already done the majority of the work. So we got to think about prepping is a much more than just putting things on a shelf. It's much more than that. It's the activity of overcoming an obstacle before the obstacle ever is presented to us. So this is a cool way of thinking of that. The next thing is the ability to actually survive in the true sense, like not die, to actually live through something. That's the second thing I think people are concerned with. And they don't typically say that I am fearful of death. Some people do, but most people don't. But that is kind of like an existential type of problem that people have, death. So people prepare to avoid that because it's a very big unknown. People just don't know how to handle it, at least a lot of people. Some people, I think, could handle it fairly well to be faced with death. But probably most people know. And thirdly, it is the ability to have a better life, to actually increase your lifestyle, to have a better quality of life in the sense that from the increased awareness from prepping and to being in a more prepared mindset, that you become aware of how things really are and not what you just want them to be. Some of the most successful people in the world have realized how things really are, and they work with that reality. They don't try to just pretend that it's not there. They don't just say, well, I'm not going to believe that that's real and make up their own reality and become successful, because they'll fail. If you're not working in the real world, you don't get real world success. Now, problem solving is a big apple to bear down on, because a lot of people, they look at a problem, and a lot of people want to go head first and go right into it and just start battling with the problem. But there's a lot of ways to deal with problems. Instead of going head on, people forget that maybe you can go over the problem, you can go under the problem, and you can go around the problem. And so a lot of times you don't have to own the problem. You don't have to have any association with the problem. You don't have to increase the problem. You can simply, in some cases, even ignore the problem and just go around it and go on with life. So you don't have to own the problem. You don't have to become the problem. And a lot of preppers, they think that they have to solve all the problems when all they really need to do is just sideswipe the problem and let it become something that breaks down over time. A lot of problems are not self-sustaining. You give it a problem enough time, it will self-implode and break down. So, So anyways, I'm going to go back inside and get warm and dry. But hopefully this was somewhat interesting. I had this kind of come across to me pretty strongly a few moments ago that I needed to do this video. And so, hey, thanks again for watching. Thanks for your support. And you guys take care.